Lamborghini and Formula One racing. From outside, it seems like match made in heaven. The brand of Lamborghini represents extreme automotive design and it prides itself to be one of the best automotive brands. Meanwhile, Formula One is considered as pinnacle of motorsport and a breeding ground for new and extreme technology for supercars. Even Lamborghini's Italian arch rival Ferrari lives and breathes Formula One. British brand McLaren's F1 heritage is legendary as well, while the German brand Mercedes dominated the sport from 2014 to 2020. Even Aston Martin has found good success in Formula One in recent times. So then why don't we see Lamborghini in Formula One today? That's what we're gonna find out in today's video. And it's a fascinating story of failed attempts, money, brand image, and musical chairs of ownership. So sit down and buckle up because you're watching Karan Simplified. First, let's get some context. We all know that Lamborghini started as a tractor company in 1963 by Ferruccio Lamborghini, who started building supercars to prove Enzo Ferrari wrong. Enzo disrespected Lamborghini by saying that they only know how to make tractors and can't build supercars. This story is a fascinating tale in itself. After that encounter, Lamborghini established itself as a serious manufacturer and dominated the sports car world. But when it came to motorsport, especially in F1, Lamborghini was absent. Now let's fast forward few years. In 1987, Chrysler bought the Lamborghini brand and injected $50 million to the company. The objective was to introduce this iconic brand to the motorsport world. Therefore, Lamborghini Engineering Division was created solely for this purpose. In 1989, Lamborghini developed its first ever F1 engine, a 3.5-liter V12. In 1990, Lamborghini entered Formula One racing as an engine supplier. Larousse and Lotus were the first customers for this new engine. Lotus scored the best finish of P5 at Hungarian Grand Prix and Larousse managed the best finish of P3 at Japanese Grand Prix with Aguri Suzuki, making him the first ever Asian driver to score a podium in Formula One. However, Lamborghini parted ways with Larousse and Lotus for 1991. Instead, they started supplying Ligier. This season, Lamborghini also decided to enter the sport with their own team, but their main investor, a Mexican businessman, abandoned them just before 1991 season, which meant they had to finance this team with their own money since they had already built chassis and engine for that season. The team was ultimately known as Modena and sometimes also known as Team Lambo. Their first car was Lambo 291. The car adopted innovative design cues like slightly tilted radiators and a top air intake, which were way ahead of their time and were adopted later on by others. However, the performance of the car wasn't that good. Best finish of 7th in the first race, with car failing to even qualify for the subsequent events. The car was only able to race 6 times that year. Due to poor performances, financial difficulties and mounting debts, Lambo's F1 team ceased all operation before 1992 season, making Lambo 291 brand's only Formula One car to this day. By that time, Lamborghini was done spending their own money in Formula One and wanted to leave the sport completely. But the engine deals with Minardi and Larousse meant that Lamborghini was still involved in the sport as an engine supplier. This engine deal allowed both the mentioned teams to score their only points that season, with the best finish of 6th place for both teams. In 1993, Larousse was the only team left using the Lamborghini engine, and they achieved a total of 3 points with a best result of 5th place finish. But this is when the Lamborghini story gets spicy. For the 1994 season, an advanced, lighter, and specifically designed Lamborghini engine was tested in a McLaren car, driven by legend Ayrton Senna and future world champion Mika Häkkinen at the end of 1993. At this time, McLaren was in a tricky situation. Williams were dominating the sport with their V10 engine from Renault, while Honda had pulled out of the sport as always. So McLaren had to settle with 4 V8 customer engines because Ron Dennis, team principal of McLaren at the time, failed to secure Renault engines for his cars. It was a known fact that Ford engines at the time were underpowered compared to the Renault V10s. When the new Lamborghini engine was tested inside the McLaren, it was whole 1 second quicker than Ford engines that McLaren were using for 1993 season. Ayrton Senna insisted Ron Dennis to use Lamborghini engines for the upcoming 1994 season, but Ron instead went with Peugeot engines, mainly due to higher commercial stability and better reliability. McLaren engineers weren't very confident with reliability of those Lamborghini engines, but this decision turned out to be a really bad choice, especially when you see performance of Peugeot engines in 1994 season. And it also became an influencing factor for Ayrton Senna to leave McLaren for Williams for the ill-fated 1994 1994 season. That season, LaRousse also switched to Ford engines, which meant that Lamborghini was free to leave Formula 1. So they packed up their bags. Since then, the Italian manufacturer hasn't been involved in F1. But why did it fail for Lamborghini? There are a few reasons for it. Reason number one, money. F1 budgets in 90s skyrocketed and Lamborghini wasn't willing to invest Ferrari and McLaren levels of money. Another reason was Lamborghini's priority for road cars. At the time, Lamborghini was busy developing icons like Diablo, not a long-term motorsport program. Also during this time, Lamborghini went through with major ownership changes. First Chrysler, then Indonesian ownership, and then Audi Volkswagen Group. All of those having no consistent motorsport vision. There was also stiff competition in engine race. Ferrari, Honda, Renault, those engines were dominant at the time. And being competitive and reliable at the same time was very difficult. But even after so many years, why has Lamborghini stayed away from Formula 1? Well, the main reason is the brand strategy of Lamborghini is very different. Their arch rival Ferrari needs Formula 1 to sell their cars because their legacy is intertwined with this sport. Lamborghini sells cars on factors like design, exclusivity and drama, not motorsport legacy. Another reason is that there has always been a risk of failure, especially after their not so good first stint in the sport. Fearful of bad results in Formula 1 damaging brand's prestige. Volkswagen Group's politics also contributed to this. Audi already races in other series and Volkswagen has Porsche for endurance racing, which meant no room for Lamborghini in Formula 1. In fact, only in 2026 a Volkswagen brand would be seen on Formula 1 grid after so many years, after Audi decided to buy the Sauber F1 team. Is Lamborghini involved in motorsport outside Formula 1? Yes, they do. They are involved in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo, which is a one-make series. They are also involved in GT3 racing, which is safer, less costly and still prestigious. Occasionally, headlines might appear of Lamborghini returning to Formula 1, but in my opinion, they will never come back. Especially now when Audi already has plans to enter this sport next year. Lamborghini never needed Formula 1 to prove itself. Their road cars are the brand, while Ferrari as a brand is a racing team first and then a car brand. This isn't the case with Lamborghini. In the battle between the road and the track, Lamborghini chose the road, and maybe that's why they are still one of the most desirable car brands in the world. So that's it in today's video. So what do you guys think? Would you like to see Lamborghini back in Formula 1? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. I would love to know your opinions about it. Like and share if you found this video interesting. Make sure to subscribe to Karan Simplified if you want to see more content like this in future. And as always, remember one thing, it is cool to be a nerd. See you soon in a future video. Goodbye.